We could get a barber chair on this. If it barber chaired, this go out here, and if it fell on this side, I'd have that baby right in my lap. All right, I've got all my equipment here. I've got a tagline that I'm gonna bring up with me just in case. I'm doing a solo takedown. I'm gonna haul both these saws up. I mean, the whole crew's here, but they're all working over there, and this is my gig. So I'm gonna haul both those up. I might stow the 562 somewhere strategic and then climb around with the little one. That's my new ported Echo from Redbeard Saws. He jacked that baby up for me. It screams. Got my saddle full of stuff. Here's the big dead red oak from Oak Wilt. So for all of you tree huggers that follow me, this is dead, and it's gonna bear spores this spring. So we took out, you know, a bunch more. We left those trunks because they were already over a year old. It's immaterial whether they're standing there or not. They're not producing spores. They're not toxic. They don't have the pathogen in them anymore. But this one just wilted last summer, and it's gonna have spores, mycelial mats that will form under the bark and crack the bark open. It's gonna smell like sweet wine. And the picnic beetle is gonna come and it can spread it to other trees that may be wounded during a storm or something. And so that's not good. So we have one down there. These may well be grafted. They might not be. You never know on these limestone bluffs. They might be this close and not grafted just because of the strata underneath, the way it works. But they likely are, so that one's probably gonna wilt. And then it looks like we're pretty clear. These are hickories around here. So this is a red oak back here. He's probably gonna die. And then there's some more red oaks there. So anyways, it's problematic. But I'm gonna go up here. I got my line set on a canopy anchor up there. And so I'll be able to run out this branch on the way up. So for all the West Coast guys that don't set a line, they just go up the tree. Well, what good would that be to just go up the tree in this wide canopy scenario when I can set a line up there and now I'll be able to run out this limb and top this all out and come down here and then continue up here and do the whole tree without having to go up and come down. I just go up here, take care of this, work it back down, go up there, get that all down, and then the trunk's ready to fall. We're gonna fall the trunk downhill. Because this is gonna bear spores, we're gonna take it away. All right, we're not gonna leave it in the woods. It'll bear spores on the ground just as it will in the air. So we're gonna take all this wood away. And this was an old hunting stand, as you can see. So somebody's gonna hit a saw on that later. Hopefully I can avoid them. But game of trees. We are having fun. I got this set on wide angle now. I noticed I didn't have it on wide angle. And I'm so frustrated all this time making videos. And my main camera wasn't on wide angle. I just took some time to get techie. You know, I'm not that techie. And so, you know, I default to I don't know how. Which, you know, isn't really like my personality. You'd think I'd want to just get it done. So anyways, finally I just said, you know what? I'm gonna figure this stupid GoPro out. And I got it on wide angle. Hey, there goes a bald eagle. Cool, I hope he comes back. Anyways, game of trees, we're having fun. Bringing some more Alternamats up. They got a little soccer field up there. So we've got grass to protect. Okay, put my spikes on. We are going to sling this. How am I going to do this? I want to attach this saw somehow. Okay, I'm gonna bring this rope up because when you're working solo, you want options. I don't think I'm gonna have to rig anything on this. You know, nothing understory really matters. We got some big buckthorn, and I'm just gonna drink some of this water and then save the rest. I have some exogenous ketones in the water, so that should give me some energy today on the fast. Your body can run on ketones. As I stated, I got my wide angle lens on, so I'm interested to see if that was just visible there, putting on my... I think it was. It's nice. Okay, I've got a little bit of a trunk lean downhill, so I think, especially with these handles, like we got some serious deer hunting handles here. Yeah, so I won't even need to use my lanyard. That's nice. Get a fist in there. Oh, don't do that. That would be a bad surprise. Okay, make sure I got a good handhold. This would not be a deer stand you'd want to sit on right now. Well, it held me. Okay, I could drop that whole thing right here. We got an elm tree there. That's pretty meaningless. That's probably gonna die. We got a hickory tree there. That's a little more meaningful. I could angle it towards the elm and drop it down in between. We got a little basswood there that's meaningless. That's a buckthorn. This is a basswood here. Now that's a lot of heavily leaning. We got metal, various places. We could get a barber chair on this, taking a limb this big. This tension wood, I could be coming through here, even with the big notch. It's kind of small to be plunge cutting. So, is it possible to take this? Yes, but with red oak, I'm working solo over here. I don't want this to blow up and go bad on me. You know, if it went like this, if it barber chaired, this go out here, and if it fell on this side, if it came off and then came this way, because that went down that way, and it pulled it off towards me, I'd have that baby right in my lap. Okay, there's the talk through. I took the time. Oh, no, don't fall on that, Kev. Holy mackerel. That would be bad. Right about now, it would be really bad for a gaff out. Set these gaffs nice and tight. You know, I took the time to set my line there. Might as well use it. Okay. We're gonna get my other camera on here too. This tightened up. Okay. So we got our good position here. I'm carrying 2 saws. I'm just gonna hand cut this one off here. 3 saws with that. Okay, can we see the oak wilt in there? It hasn't turned black yet, but I see some discoloration. I think I can see it in there. Some darker brown splotchy stuff in the vessels. So most of this small branch would be sapwood, so it could be all throughout that sapwood. Okay, we're still pretty big. I'm gonna go up a little higher. Got myself a good tie-in point. I'm not gonna have to go all the way. I still might break a branch on that hickory though. Maybe not. If I think I'll go get that one, drop that off that way, and then I can definitely take that in, and I can just split the difference between the elm and the hickory. Break a couple branches on the elm, and who cares, it's gonna die in a couple years anyways. This area out here is great for morel mushrooms because there's a lot of native elm that is susceptible to Dutch elm disease. Okay, I got a pretty vertical line on my top rope, so I'm just gonna take this lanyard off and switch it. I've got a 2-in-1 lanyard, so you know, if I would have been crazy horizontal, I would have used my other side so I wouldn't be open to a swing or anything, but I'm right up there, so it's no problem. Okay, I am going to lean back. You know, a good method is to lean back against your tie-in point. You know, a lot of guys try to work with their back to their tie-in point, and they're on top of this. You're trying to balance. So, you know, like if I'm up here and I'm gonna be making cuts, and I can fall towards my line, and, you know, and I'm gonna flop all over the place. All I have to do is swivel my hips, move my feet just a little, and go back against my tie-in point. And now I can cut with 2 hands on the saw. And you know, boom, boom, boom. All right, I'm gonna turn on my other camera. So we got the vertical camera on. I haven't warmed up my saw yet. Got the wider angle, so I could probably leave it just the way it is. Gotta see that. Yeah, look at that. Boom, boom. I am so happy. Figured out that wide angle. Crazy. Dump this over. this on there for a little handhold, because I'm gonna come back by here, lean into this. Now I'm open to a swing a little bit here, so I'm gonna get my lanyard out again. Okay, physically and visually check. Okay, once again, now we got a much more horizontal line, so I definitely want to get leaning back in here. Get these things out of here. Oh, like I had my electric saw. Okay, so now I think I'm not even gonna notch this. I'm gonna pull this up a little tighter. I think I'm just gonna do a straight drop cut. We'll get this out of here. I'm just gonna come straight up, perpendicular to the ground, and then come straight down on that curve. And this will just kind of fall into it and then go butt first all the way to the ground. This is just a buckthorn down here. I don't care if I wreck it. And I want to angle away from, so I can lean in to my line here. This is holding me kind of in a basket here. So I'm very comfortable. Okay, I kind of keep my saw, I kind of move my saw, you know, back and forth to kind of feel if the kerf is closing on me. And I kind of felt it pinching. So I got out of there. So now I'm gonna come right down on top of that. I'm gonna make sure I get that backside because I want this to hold right to the end. So I'm gonna dip in there and get back there and then come down on this side. And this should drop a little bit towards the elm and then go straight down. I might even flip it over and go backwards like this. So I got a better, because it's kind of hard. I'll be bumping into this. This will be in a way. If I flip over, I'll be able to line that up. And so that's my line right there. And I'll be able to dip into there and then come across at the correct angle. So I'm running the trigger with my thumb right now. All right. I had to go fast. I got the backside first and then it wanted to really break here. So I had to get going on it. But you know, with this kerf, it usually won't like crack or barber chair down here or anything, especially at a union like this. But because it'll close, it's only going to close on that kerf, and that gives you time to come in here, and this just popped out of here. But so that I got one little branch on the elm that I bent over, nothing on the hickory. So it came towards the elm and then the bottom dropped out. You can see the butt hit first. So, and I was right on top of my other kerf, and that busted out of there just fine. But don't hesitate. You know, I stayed on the cut. It dropped in there and then it started cracking. You know, don't stop cutting. You know, stay on the cut. And it probably dropped when I was somewhere in here, and I kept on the cut, and then my saw jumped up here and I kept cutting up in here, and then I had a chance getting caught in a kerf, and I pulled out of there then, because you don't want your saw to go with the piece. Okay, so now we can just take this off. I'm going to lower myself out. I got a 20-foot lanyard, so I don't need to expose myself to a swing. I can even drop it down there. As I've gotten older, you know, I don't have to get off a limb any too fast. I'm comfortable just getting off the limb. Man, I'm kind of twisted up here. Have to do some lanyard tending, it looks like. So now I'm back here, comfortably close. I got a decent angle. I'll just pull this off. All right, let's make this 12-inch diameter cut with this little guy. I do have 2 saws on my hips, but let's take care of this. Straight drop cut. So come down straight on top of that. Now I was, you know, mostly in line with the kerf, but I was almost on the other side of it. You know, you're better off erring on this side, because then my saw will stay here. If I was another ½ inch out and I overcut that, I'll be caught in a kerf and it'll want to take my saw. So I was right at the outside edge of that kerf. So I was kind of cutting at an angle. I started in the right spot and then I cut at an angle out. So keep that in mind. You don't want to get out here and then overcut that kerf and have it take your saw. Let's leave this on, work it down. Now I could jump over there. I don't think anything's in my way here, but I'll make this a little shorter. Let's see if I can get that to flip over and, well, I got that stub on there. Might as well drop it straight. But I bet it's gonna want to flip over, just the angle that it's at. Busted that stub right off of there. We gotta, okay, I'm coming down on this metal here. I don't want to wreck my saw. We've got to flip these pieces down the hill. We can pull them down the hill with the loader, but I'm just gonna brake cut this off. So look at that stain out from this metal. So maybe this curves up here and there's metal under here possibly, right? Because it looks like that's pretty far in. Now that might be just that far in because it goes in that far, but it might be that that was put on years ago and all this grew out over it. I mean, this looks pretty old. But there could be metal. If I'd have cut really close to that, I might have ran into it. Probably leave the rest of that on there and fall it down the hill. Probably cut this off right about here. I might be able to, if I get those to flip over and land on their head, I'll get them tumbling maybe. 562 on my left hip. I'm not accustomed to a saw on my left hip. Now that's an elm, and that'll probably sweep out of there. I'm gonna get up above this. What is catching me? Can't be that hard. There we go. All right. I think I can ride this out. Tip it over and avoid that elm, or sweep off the end of it. All that weight on there. Where's my other saw? I got a battery operated saw. It's right up there. I think I'm free. I was free of the saw. It did not sweep off the elm, and it took out the buckthorn. So all's well. But that elm, that'll be fun. Maybe I'll just cut that elm down and make it go away. It's just junk. Okay, that we've got to take that off. And then we're up there, we might as well take these two off and then take off that smaller top. Try to avoid that elm. And this one, I'm gonna get this chunk off of there. All right. All right. I suppose I could go up higher here. Get my tie in a little higher, and that'll make that more comfortable. Oh, that was easy. Yeah, for those of you that thought this wasn't dead, it's breaking like it's dead. It wilted late in the season, so it's got buds, but it's dead. So the buds formed, and then it finished dying. Get my lanyard up here. Haven't had to use my tagline yet. All right, I do have my lanyard on. Double check. I'm visually and physically checked. Okay, I'm gonna untie this. Reset this. Goodness sakes. All right, you're out of there. Yeah, see how easy those break? Green oak does not break that nicely. So bowling, my videos are gonna gain a lot of quality with this wide angle. Sorry guys, I wish somebody would have told me about it sooner. I had a nice guy that follows me. His handle is Has Spurs Will Climb. He's like 75 years old. And we interact candidly. And he says, you need a wider angle lens. And I'm like, I thought I was on wide angle and I just was confused. But I wasn't. In fact, I had like 4 options on this camera and I was on the narrowest option. And so I was sitting here trying to fine tune and get my camera in just the right spot. And here all along, I could have had much more grace in that positioning. And it would have been a much better product for you all. But so I'm excited for this footage. I'll probably bump this up in front of some other footage that I have. And then I'll be tempted to not process my old footage because I just won't be satisfied with it. But we'll see. All right, let's make a couple cuts. Tell you what, I like that echo, Nick. That's nice. Redbeard Saws, look him up on Instagram. I think he's still taking business. All right, what have we got here? I am going to get my optimum tie-in point here. I had a quickie, I don't know where it is. I'll have to search the little pockets on my gear bag. Oh, yeah, I think I might have beat 10 seconds on that. Maybe not. We had a little competition in the shop the other day on tying bowlines with a Yosemite finish. All right, can I get this off here? No, it's gonna hit that stuff. So I'll go get that stuff first and come back up here and clear this. Actually, I might be able to drop that whole thing if I bring my other end up and tie in on the other side. Then I can drop this whole lead off right up here. Since I broke off that other buckthorn up there anyways. All right, what do I want to do? This other saw on my hip is keeping me from bouncing around efficiently. I'm moving a little slower. I don't want to bang the 562 up. But so this whole climb I've been climbing with the 562 on my left hip. But make this go away. Test the silky. Works. All right. If I get up here in position, okay, my back line, get my back line tight. All right, I got my back line tight. Got my lanyard tight. I'm hooked on a little nub there, so that's secure. I can drop this off here, and then I'll scooch up just a little bit, and I'll drop this over my shoulder. And then I can drop that off the front. So once I start this saw, I'll be able to run 3 cuts before I shut it off. Straight, drop I got my vertical on. Better double check. Yeah, I do. All right. Now I could get this all to go right like that, but it kind of leans back this way, so it might not play that game with me. I don't want to break off anything on this hickory, so easy enough. Ah, don't you wreck my camera. Is it still straight? Feels straight. Go up a little taller. All right, we're gonna make a little ledge here for my lanyard to go on, so I'm totally comfortable. All right. Oftentimes, yeah, just flipping it over something like that just gives you a little more security. All right, check my back line. So I'm tight on that. So it wants to sweep those branches, but no, that's not going to be good. I'd rather have that happen on my terms than on his terms. That would have come down and come across here. That would have been ugly. Because I want to bring this way. So that branch, so never forget to look up. And look at how the acorns, because this wilted, the acorns stayed on the tree. That's an interesting phenomenon. Pretty cool. So some deer is going to be happy because I'm going to put these on the ground now and they'll find them come March when they're starving. Okay, so we got to bring this way. So I'm going to kind of compromise. I call it a compromise. I compromise a notch, you know, instead of going straight to the ground. I'm going to compromise it this direction and have this come towards me and sweep away. So that barely tapped those branches, so we got a perfect drop in there. And I made this a fairly narrow notch so that it would, you know, it'd break away. It would tip and then break away. And now on this, I've got mostly weight going this way, so I can I'm gonna drop this little guy off and then just make a notch right about here, angle right towards that limb, and we should be able to have this drop in there and avoid the hickory. Yeah, so it wanted to just hang there. I didn't want to cut it too fast, but I had a good notch there. So, and barely even moved the hickory. So, and nothing broken on the other oak. Oh, one little twig. It caught one twig over there, and there it is. It's still hanging. But all right, we're just about done. Game of trees, we're having fun. All right, now this could tumble. We might get this tumbling all the way to the drop zone. I think I'm just gonna back cut this off. A flat landing and a slide. How about that? That could have broke off right at my lanyard. my lanyard was the break off. Caused the break. Tried to get the tumble. It wouldn't tumble. It's nothing's going my way. Okay, we're gonna turn around here. Now, there's no reason why I can't take this whole thing, except that I'm tied to it. So let's fix that. I don't want to go back up there. Okay. So we're going to bring our other end up. So this is what I like about. Now, if I was double rope technique, you know, somebody would say, oh, you just pull your rope out and reset it here. That's true. That's true. I could have had a double rope technique on that crotch up there, and I would just reset. So yes, I know, but I've kind of, you know, committed myself to single rope technique, you know, whatever. And so I can just bring the other end of my rope up, tie on. Yeah, it's no big deal. And now I'm fully lanyarded on, double check that, taking off Kimbo. All right, so now I gotta get my okay, get that away from me so nothing can happen. So that rope's just gonna go down there. I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna cut my breakaway kerfs here. I'll cut my notch. I'll cut my side kerfs. Probably cut it from this side and this side. And then I'll make my back cut. All right, so this is my side curve. That's why there's no hinge over there. So I plunge cut this and then made my cut out. So I did actually cut. My side curve was lower, so doggone it, if I always lose sight of that. Look at that. I just dipped in there and I took that, but I had enough hinge over here. And it was still sitting on the back. What saved me was it was sitting on the back strap. And so it didn't sit on my saw there. But again, I should have backed up and made sure I was coming through at the right angle. But at any rate, that avoided a barber chair making that plunge cut. And that worked out nice. All right, well, this little saw is still running. I haven't had to use the big saw yet. I better start using it, or it'll be a waste of energy to have carried it up here with me. So, you know, the whole idea of having, limited weight on your saddle, and I don't know, whatever. I get 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 steel carabiners on my saddle. It's like, whatever. I'm 200 pounds. What do I care? All right, we'll keep using this since it's got gas. I can't get a tumble for anything. So this little Echo 2511 and she's screaming. Look at that little modified muffler he's got going on there. She's screaming pretty good. Well, all these pieces have to be small enough for me to flip them down the hill by hand. Or we could pull them. We could pull them with a rope. Why don't I cut this with the small saw and then go to the big saw? Ugh. All right, I think that's the last cut with the little guy. Wonder how I should manage this big one. I got a sling on it.
And I can't express enough appreciation for how much you've been foundational as through my research and driving of the program. Oh, I appreciate it. It's been fun. I have to say, when we were looking at the first data together, I was really surprised at how quickly you were making changes with what you were doing with your own diet. And one of the reasons I think for the last time.
All right, let's do this.
I think how quickly human physiology can change under various dietary conditions. Not that it doesn't change, but it can change very rapidly with a bit of a new learning state. And so that's where I think I looked at your data to say, where have we missed this before and how reproducible is this? Yeah.
All right, that'll work.
That you've been a part of and that has happened to science.
Is my phone talking to me?
Very intricately. A lot of
Yeah, Dave Feldman talking to me.
very motivated, maybe in a smaller number,
7 days ago.
with a higher frequency, which of course is a little bit of a tease for the experimental code.
Oh, I watched that before. That was a good one. Get this done. Okay, you can choke your... I'll choke my... And then I can lean back against that. And I can come over here and confidently cut a notch. All right, there's no compression release on this thing. This is a pull. So that's another Redbeard modified. All right, do I just leave my rope up here? Leave my knot on the top side of this. All right, so I carried that 562 with me for 2 cuts. And maybe I had enough gas and the little guy to get that done. I don't think I would have. Those would have been pretty heavy cuts for that little guy. And I could come back with a bigger saw All right. So that's Game of Trees. Takedown. Just got the felling to do. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Beautiful day in a beautiful place.
Summer heat and tundra cold and throwing a storm of three. Stakes are high, there's always a risk when you're playing the game of trees.
All right, we got a smaller than favorable saw, but we're gonna fell this. Game of Trees, we're having fun.